Hello and welcome to the FA Women's National League show, the weekly show where we look at everything that's happened in the third and fourth tier of women's football in England in the Northern Premier, Southern Premier and Division 1 in the Midlands, North, South East and South West. My name is Chris Gadsby. I'm here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. to guide you through what has happened over the last 7 days in women's football in England and what's going to come up in the next 7 days as well. My apologies that the quality of this video is not quite as high as usual. You may be able to tell from my voice that I have not been doing so well with it recently. Very nearly lost it over the last few days. I'll put that down to 3 commentaries in 7 days with about 20 odd goals in them as well. So my voice is feeling a little bit worse for wear, and I'm resting it as much as possible ahead of the games on Sunday. But I also didn't want you to be without the show this week, so I'm going to go through things a bit faster and try not to speak for too long. So we'll get straight into the results in the Northern Premier Division. As always, second screen over here, and a convincing 4-0 victory for Derby County over Middlesbrough, a hat-trick for Ellie Gilliatt, and in the 15th, 38th and 84th minute, and a 28th minute goal for Precious Hamilton. Means Derby beat Middlesbrough by 4-0. Huddersfield Town 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3. Tight game towards the top of the table. 2-2 at half-time goals. Second minute goal for Lucy Sowerby for Huddersfield Town, and Brittany Sanderson in the 45th minute getting their 2 goals. Goals for Wolves scored by Ellie Butler in the 33rd minute and Anna Morfitt in the 35th minute, and then Helen Dermody in the 53rd minute scored what proved to be the deciding goal of the game. Hull City 0, Burnley 3. 2 goals for Courtney Willis and 1 for Nicola Worthington for Burnley. Another tight game at the top of the table. A 22nd minute goal for Jade Arbour means that Nottingham Forest beat AFC Fylde by a 0-0. Very close game there between two sides up at the top of the table. Stoke City 1, Brighouse Town 1. Nothing yet from Stoke City about their lineup, but Monique Wilson for Brighouse Town getting their goal. And finally, West Bromwich Albion 5, Loughborough Lightning 0. A brace for Leah Dugmore and for Trina Greaves, and then 1 for Janelle Stracker as well, giving West Bromwich Albion a 5-goal victory over the Loughborough Lightning. What that means for the table then is the Wolverhampton Wanderers are 3 points clear of Nottingham Forest and AFC Fylde at the top of the table. Derby County just 1 point behind them, but with a game in hand. They're on 12 points. Then a bit of a gap to Burnley in 5th, Brighouse Town and Huddersfield Town 6th and 7th. Then towards the bottom half, West Bromwich Albion, Stoke City, Loughborough Lightning, Middlesbrough, Sheffield, and then Hull City at the bottom of the table on 1 point. Southern Premier Division then, Hounslow 0, Portsmouth 11. A really strong result from Portsmouth, who had 3 hat-tricks in that game. Shannon Albury in the 45th, 47th and 64th minute. Danielle Lane in the 2nd, 22nd and 58th minute. Samantha Quayle in the 5th, 46th and 76th minute, supplemented by Rosie McDonnell in the 16th minute and Ava Rawbotham in the 36th minute. Keynsham Town 2, Chichester and Chelsea 1. A tighter game there. Goals for Chichester and Chelsea comes in the 47th minute. Gemma Simmons, their only scorer. Laura Williams getting 2 for Keynsham Town, either side of half-time, the 41st and the 51st minute. Milton Keynes Dons against Cardiff City. Goal for Marianne Tahoe for Milton Keynes Dons, and goal for Kelly Isaac for Cardiff City as they have a 1-1 draw. Oxford United 3, Bridgewater United 0. Goal for Sophie Baker in the 24th minute. Beth Lumsden in the 71st minute, and a penalty for Carly Johns in the 12th minute, giving Oxford United a 3-0 victory. Southampton FC continue their start to the season, their 100% record, a 5-0 victory over the London Bees. Goals in the 17th minute, Sophia Farrow, 42nd, Lita Rutherford, 50th, Lucia Kendall, 62nd, Ella Pusey, and 86th, Alicia Ware. And then finally, in the Southern Premier Division, Plymouth Argyle 1, Gillingham 3, a hat-trick for Amy Russ for Gillingham 7th, 83rd and 85th minute, giving Gillingham the victory there. No information on the scorer for Plymouth Argyle. Premier Division table then, two teams still with a perfect 100% record, Southampton and Ipswich both on 18 points. Portsmouth and Oxford United third and fourth on 13 points, so there's a bit of a gap coming there. Crawley Wasps in fifth place on 12 points, Bridgewater United on 11, Gillingham on 10, Cardiff City and London Bees on 7 points from 7 games, Chichester and Keynsham Town on 6, Chichester and Chelsea on 4, Plymouth Argyle 3, Milton Keynes Dons 2, and Hounslow at the bottom of the table. No points and a minus 29 goal difference. Into the Division 1 Midlands then. We'll start with Burton Albion against Leek Town. Leek Town winning by 5 goals to 1. A brace for Paris O'Connor and Katie Gibbons. Alana Copeland getting one as well for Leek Town. Burton Albion, Millie Wortley getting the only goal of the game. Leafield Athletic against Doncaster Rovers Bells, a 3-0 victory for Doncaster Rovers. Jasmine Sexton, Isabella Trevelyan and Lily May Wishart getting their goals. Long Eaton United beating Boldmere St Michael's by a 1-0. Molly Boltby, the only goal of the game there for Long Eaton United. Great result for them. Wem Town against Biddeford United. Wem Town winning by 3 goals to 2. No information about Biddeford United yet, but 2 goals for Gemma Baxter-Smith and 1 for Katie Doster, giving Wem Town the victory. Sporting Cowser beating Hull Sports by 3 goals to 1. Goals for Rebecca Jill Parsons, Chloe Hanley and Bailey Rain Hodge for Sporting Cowser. Courtney Cropper getting the only goal for Hull Sports. Solihull Moors against Peterborough United. Lots of goals in this one. Goals for Solihull Moors, Chloe May Caldecott and Charlotte Leadham getting the 2 for Solihull Moors. Peterborough United, Beatrice Bork-Arnell, Hannah Pendred, Keir Perkins, Casey Stewart and Laura Dodwell, and Jessica Driscoll getting the goals in the Division 1 Midlands. In terms of the Division 1 table, that defeat has closed the gap, but Boldmere St Michael's still lead Long Eaton United by a single goal on 13 points. Lincoln City, Doncaster Rovers Bells and Leek Town all just a point behind them on 12. Peterborough United on 8, Solihull Moors and Leafield Athletic on 7. Wem Town on 6, Burton Albion on 5, Sporting Cowser and Hull Sports on 4, and Biddeford United still at the bottom of the table with no points. Division 1 North then. Chorley 2, Durham Sestra 1. Again, another close game there. No information about Chorley as of yet. Megan Elliott in the 83rd minute getting the goal for Durham Sestra. Leeds United 3, Chester Street Town 1. A brace for Laura Bartup and a goal for Hannah Freeback, giving 3 goals to Leeds. Chester Street Town getting a consolation at the end. Jessica White in the 87th minute. Liverpool Feds against Newcastle United. Just 1 goal in this one as they win by a 1-0. Emily Douglas in the 38th minute. Norton Stockton Ancients losing to FC United and Manchester by 2 goals to 0. Kirsty Chambers in the 12th minute and Ellie Rigby in the 84th minute, giving the goals to FC United of Manchester. Stockport County against Barnsley. Jess Battle, Maria Figueiredo and Olivia Wilde getting the 3 goals for Stockport County. And that was enough to take them past the brace of Natalie Shaw, getting both goals for Barnsley, but they lose by 3 goals to 2. In the Division 1 North table, then Liverpool Feds and Leeds United still 3 points clear of FC United of Manchester, who are on 12 points. The top two both on 15. Chorley in 4th on 11. Newcastle United in 5th on 10. Then Norton, Stockton Ancients and Durham Sestra both on 6. Chester Street Town and Stockport County are on 5. Bradford City on 4. Barnsley and Alnwick Town at the bottom of the table, both on 1 point. We move into Division 1 South East. Cambridge City 2, Queen's Park Rangers 2. Goals for Cambridge City both coming from Grace Stanley. Queen's Park Rangers goals from Erin Pope and Brogan Moore. Hashtag United winning 6-0 away at Cambridge United, but there's no information about their scorers as of yet. Enfield Town 2, Actonians 2. And Klesha Duro and Katie O'Leary getting the goals for Enfield Town. Justine Buckmeyer and Rochelle Shakes getting the equalising goals there for Actonians. Kent Football United 1, Norwich City 4. Norwich City's goals coming from Jodie Drake, Natasha Snelling, Catherine Stanley, and there's only 3 noted as being on there. Only 3 goals down as there, so we have to take an own goal assumption there. No information about Kent Football United. London Seaward 3, Harlow Town 2. Niamh Carty and Abby Dell scoring in the first minute for London Seaward. Goals for Harlow Town, Bethany Chambers and Lindsay Morgan. Again, just having a check on here. Ray Laudat getting a penalty in the 41st minute for London Seaward as well. There's something about penalties not ending up on the main FA Women's National League website kind of score chart. Now, if somebody could look into that, that would be great. Stevenage 1, AFC Wimbledon 9, the big result of the league there, but no information about AFC Wimbledon, unfortunately. Goal for Stevenage coming from Sophie Davidson, Louise Godden getting a red card in that one to make it a bit more difficult for them. Division 1 South East table then, Billericay Town still top it, 16 points and 18 goals. They're now level with Hashtag United, who also have 16 points and a goal difference of 18. Actonians 3 points behind them on 13 points. Then AFC Wimbledon, London Seaward and Cambridge City all on 10. Cambridge United on 9. Queen's Park Rangers and Norwich City on 7 each. Enfield Town on 6. Stevenage on 3. Harlow Town on 1. And Kent Football United at the bottom of the table, still yet to score a point this season. Division 1 South West then will start in midweek. There was one game on Wednesday, Buckland Athletic against Exeter City. Goals for Exeter City coming from Anthea Captain, Mia Preston, Natalie Warman, a hat-trick for Connie Pengelly and Sarah Stacey, running out a convincing 7-0 victory away at Buckland Athletic. Back then to the weekend, and Bournemouth and Buckland Athletics game was postponed. Exeter City 4, Larkhall Athletic 0. Goals for Exeter City from Phoebe Baker, Anthea Captain, Emily Toogood and Connie Pengelly again. So good week for Exeter, an aggregate of 11-0 over their 2 games. Maidenhead United 1, Cheltenham Town 4. Goal for Maidenhead United scored by Kirsty Matthews. Cheltenham Town goal scores by Ebby Bevan, 87. Jade Grove in the 32nd. Lacey J. Liggett in the 7th minute, opening the scoring. And Amy Woven in the 65th minute. Next, Portishead against Poole Town. Goals for Portishead, a brace for Rosie Hill, 48th minute and 92nd minute, and Shannon Holloway in the 34th minute. Finally then, Southampton Women 2, Chesham United 0. Goals for Southampton Women, a penalty, again, not on the main street. Please, FA Women's National League, can we have a look at this and sort this out? 56th minute, Lauren Cheshire from the penalty spot, and then Brittany Gill in the 89th minute rounded up a 2-0 victory. Division 1 South West, Cheltenham Town top the table on 13 points from their 6 games, followed by Chesham United. Exeter City, Portishead and Southampton women all have 11. AFC Bournemouth have 8, but they've only played 4 games. Maidenhead United have 7 points. Swindon Town, Larkhall Athletic and Buckland Athletic all have 3. And Poole Town at the bottom of the table without any points so far. So now we're going to look into the fixtures coming up in the next 7 days. Some big fixtures coming, and one that I'm particularly excited about. We'll start in the Northern Premier Division. Brickhouse Town against West Bromwich Albion. Burnley against Loughborough Lightning. Huddersfield Town against Stoke City. Middlesbrough against AFC Fylde. There's the big one. Nottingham Forest against Derby County. Sheffield FC against Hull City. Of course, as you've been watching this from the start, know that I volunteer with Nottingham Forest women, but it's Nottingham Forest, it's against Derby County, it's 2nd versus 4th, it's at the City Ground, hoping to get a few thousand in for that game. I've been told that the ticket sales are very good, so hopefully we'll get a big crowd in for Forest against Derby in what should be a thrilling match with both teams going well at the top of the Northern Premier Division. Elsewhere, no game for Wolves, so a chance, if Forest wins, go to the top of the table. Also an opportunity there if things don't go Forest's way for Fylde to get themselves back to the top of the table. They're away at Middlesbrough. Hull against Sheffield FC, the 2 bottom sides, also going head-to-head this weekend. So it should be a great weekend of football in the Northern Premier Division. In the Southern Premier Division, Bridgewater United, Plymouth Argyle, Cardiff City against Hounslow, Chichester and Chelsea against MK Dons, Crawley Wasps versus Oxford, Gillingham against Portsmouth, London Bees against Ipswich, and Southampton against Keynsham Town. It's an opportunity there for the top 3 to really do well again. London Bees down in 9th facing Ipswich, Keynsham Town down in 10th facing Southampton. So you would look on early form that those 2 are going to do well again. Portsmouth have a goal difference of 20 from their 6 games, so Gillingham might find it hard there. Hounslow against Cardiff City. Again, Hounslow yet to get any points so far this season. They're on a minus 29 goal difference. Is that going to play into Cardiff's hands? MK Dons against Chichester and Chelsea. That's 11th against 13th. So some close games in that one. We also have midweek fixtures. One of the reasons I wanted to get this out today. So tonight we've got Doncaster Rovers Bells against Long Eaton United. This is Division 1 Midlands now. Then tomorrow night, Peterborough against Lincoln City. Hull Sports against Bideford United. Solihull Moors against Leafield Athletic. And Sporting Cowser against Wem Town. And at the weekend, Hull Sports against Leek Town, Leaford Athletic versus Lincoln City, Long Eaton United against Sporting Cowser, Wem Town against Doncaster Rovers Bells, Peterborough United against Boldmere St Michael's, and Solihull Moors against Burton Albion. More difficult to look at the runners and riders in this one because, of course, there's those midweek fixtures as well. But just from looking at the table at the moment, there's a couple of mid-table ones, Solihull Moors against Burton Albion, but there does seem to be quite a top versus bottom split, certainly for the weekend as well. So Boldmere St Michael's in 1st at the moment, Peterborough United in 6th, so kind of top versus middle. Leafield Athletic against Lincoln City, that's 3rd versus 8th. It's all very much like that. We haven't got bottom 2 going up against each other or anything like that. Division 1 North then, again, midweek fixtures. Tonight, Bradford City, Leeds United and Chester Street Town, Norton Stockton Ancients. Then tomorrow, Durham Sestra, Alnwick Town and Stockport County against FC United of Manchester. And at the weekend, Chorley against Durham Sestra, Leeds United against Chester Street Town, Liverpool Feds against Newcastle United, Norton and Stockton Ancients against FC United of Manchester, and Stockport County versus Barnsley. So that's going to be one to look at as well. 9th against 11th there. Alnwick Town not playing at the weekend. An opportunity for Barnsley to put some distance between themselves and Alnwick Town. Up near the top, Liverpool Feds against Newcastle United. Those 2 coming together, that's 1st versus 5th. Newcastle United just seem to have slipped off the rails a little bit in the last few games or so. Leeds United against Chester Street Town, that's 2nd versus 8th. And Norton Stockton Ancients against FC United and Manchester, 3rd against 6th. Division 1 South East. Tomorrow, 5 fixtures. Cambridge City against Cambridge United. The Battle of Cambridge. Who's going to come out on top in that one? They're right next to each other in the league table as well. But Cambridge United have played 2 less games than Cambridge City. Harlow Town against Stevenage. Hashtag United against London Seaward. Kent Football United against Billericay Town. And Queen's Park Rangers against AFC Wimbledon. Top versus bottom then. Billericay Town against Kent Football United. You'd fancy Billericay Town in that one. Hashtag United come up against 5th place London Seaward. So if they want to keep right there with Billericay Town, Hashtag United need to win in what is the tougher fixture, you would say, against the 5th place London Seaward. Into the weekend, Billericay Town against Norwich City. Norwich City down in 9th at the moment. Cambridge United against Actonians. Hashtag United against Cambridge City. Kent Football United against AFC Wimbledon. London Seaward against Enfield Town. And Stevenage against Queen's Park Rangers. So again, it's a similar one where we've got the top versus bottom in midweek. But at the weekend, there's no kind of bottom of the table scraps really. The closest you've really got is Queen's Park Rangers in 8th against Stevenage in 11th. Towards the top, again, Cambridge United are in 7th at the moment, but they could climb. They could climb as high as 4th by the weekend. They're playing Actonians, who are currently in 3rd. But very much no kind of big battles, top versus bottom, as we've seen in other leagues. Finally, in Division 1 Southwest, I've just moved to the side at the end. Tomorrow, Cheltenham against Portishead, Larkhall Athletic against Swindon Town, and Poole Town against AFC Bournemouth. Then at the weekend, Cheltenham Town against AFC Bournemouth, Maidenhead United against Swindon Town, Portishead versus Exeter City, and Southampton Women against Poole Town. Any games particularly of note to look out for in that one? Well, the games Poole Town against Southampton Women. Poole Town desperate to try and get some points in this season. They've got Bournemouth on Wednesday. They are in 6th. And Southampton at the weekend, who are currently in 5th. So difficult week for Poole Town. Maidenhead United against Swindon Town. That's 7th versus 8th at the moment. But again, it could all change between now and then because of the fixtures tomorrow night. So that will about cover it for this week's episode of the FA Women's National League show. Once again, my apologies that it's a shorter episode and the quality is not quite there because my voice is struggling at the moment. I've had to keep stopping and starting this to take drinks, but I didn't want you to be without a show for this week. So as always, thank you for the support. If you want to get in touch, I'm on Twitter at Chris_Gadsby. Keep supporting your local women's football team. Keep yourselves safe and enjoy what should be a thrilling weekend of FA Women's National League action. Be back next Tuesday at 6 p.m. But for now, goodbye.